form of social media that I don't know. You are constantly bombarded with stimuli and images that keep you disconnected from the nature of your true self. Some of you have found your value in how many people like your picture when you post it. And if you don't get a whole amount of likes, now you're hurt and offended. Do they like me? Oh my gosh, they didn't like my picture. Well, girl, would you please stop waiting on somebody to like your picture when you were created in the image of a living God? I wonder if you realize how much value you carry with heaven. Especially now in an age of secular humanism and moral relativism, where you're allowed to do what you want now. You can do what you want, say what you want, live how you want, smoke what you want, drink what you want, sleep with who you want. And all of that is true, but there's consequences. So many things have changed from when I was sitting in that seat, when I was your age. Now you got TV 24 hours a day, 900 channels, just whatever you want, any given time. You don't ever have to go to sleep. It's always something on. Man, when some of us in here, some grown folk in here, when we were y'all age, TV used to go off. Wasn't no remote control. We were the remote control. Get up, turn the channel. Things have changed in your generation. Now, contemporary psychologists want you to just explore life and just figure it out on your own. And just let them try everything. Just let them explore. You sound crazy. We don't let you explore Clorox. Drink that, see how that worked out for you. We don't let you explore traffic. Why would I let you explore something as sacred as sexuality without a biblical foundation? If I'm a parent, then I'm going to raise you to know the Lord. What you do with it as a grown person is on your own. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Your generation is in need of somebody to step up to the plate. And I believe the key is your worship. Because if you have the ability to put God in his proper context and his proper position, everything else in your life will fall into place. Free to worship. You do know that what we just did at the beginning was by design. That wasn't a spontaneous moment. I actually did that to see how awake your generation was. And I'm blessed to see the response of what happened in this church. Pastor David, if you'll hear my heart, I don't see this kind of passion in predominantly African-American churches, particularly with the youth. Unfortunately, many senior leaders don't understand the value of youth. Many leaders are more concerned about budget and are we going to make budget? Some things aren't budget. Some things you just got to sow in. And so I thank God for a church and leaders that are sowing into a generation. And we won't know if this is successful for 20 or 30 years when they are husbands and fathers and leaders and mothers who are doing and serving God. And so we may not see success this weekend, but we are committed to seeding success. Something's going on with my ears. Just keep me in prayer. The enemy just messing with something. I've been battling with a little bit of an issue, but it's not going to stop me from preaching. Devil, you're a liar. Bow down, devil. Sorry. I just got to talk to him like that. Never talk to the devil face to face. He's not on your level. Always keep him where he's supposed to be. Now bow down, devil, trying to get information. Do me a favor. I want you to go to Mark chapter 5. I'm gonna move Pastor David as close as I can to finish within that time construct. Free to worship. Somebody say free.
Free.
You know, there's nothing like being unashamedly who God created you to be. So many things happen in your life to try to hijack your identity. The most critical component to your development is your identity. Not what your name is, but who you are. Your name will be synonymous with your identity. And when you know who you are, you become a threat to the kingdom of darkness. Because once you know who you are in Christ Jesus, you cannot unknow it. That's David Winston. That's his wife. I know him. I know his wife. Now, I've seen him in multiple settings. You can't convince me that that's Leon Jenkins from the South Side. That's David Winston. And if I ask him his name, he'll tell me that. Because he knows who he is. The enemy keeps messing with you because he wants you to be confused about who you are. So he hits you with circumstances and issues to see if you have forgotten who God created you to be. And so I want to talk to you for the few minutes that I have from this idea of free to worship, because if you get God in his proper position, everything else in your life will fall into place. You're in Mark chapter 5. I'm reading from the New King James Version. But the scripture that I want to reference is John chapter 4, when he said, God is looking for worshipers. He's seeking such to worship him. For God is spirit, and those who worship us worship in spirit and in truth. Isn't it weird that the Bible says the Father is seeking worshipers? How is a God that knows everything, has everything, can make anything, look for anything? How is God looking for worshipers? You know, Pastor John, this church is open all over the world, big old crowds. Maybe crowds don't equal worshipers. Yeah. God is looking for somebody that he can stand up in. And I believe that this conference is designed to ignite you, to ignite your passion, and to connect you to your original intent. But some of you have been believing the lie that either something that you've done or something that has happened to you has caused God not to be excited about you, or maybe he's mad at you, or maybe he doesn't love you because you're struggling with all the other things that happen to hormonal teenagers and young adults. Let me encourage you. Not one perfect person is in this church right now, nor has there ever been any perfect people in here except for the presence of Jesus Christ. So go ahead and let yourself off the hook and be okay with your humanity. But who's allowed to come to Jesus? I grew up in a Baptist church. We used to sing hymns. Come to Jesus. Come to Jesus. Come to Jesus just now. Just now. Come to Jesus. Come to Jesus just now. That was a jam. All the church mothers be on the front row. Thank you! Thank you! Ooh! I don't know what that is. Oh! Ooh. I don't know what that is. Who's allowed to come to Jesus? Don't you have to be perfect? Don't you have to be filled with some type of spirit? Don't you have to speak in some new language right away as soon as you walk in? Because religion tells me that I got to perform to please God. You can do a lot of things religiously. One thing you can't do religiously is encounter God. You can only encounter God relationally. Religion just means repetition. You can drink religiously. You can gamble religiously. Ask Granny. I'm playing them numbers. Boxing, play them. Had a dream. You can do a lot of things religiously. Religion does not equal relationship. Your generation is starving for authentic relationship. Most of your relationships are digital. The social construct and fabric of your life is very different, because now all your relationships are based on how fast your thumbs can respond to text. But when I was growing up, we actually had to go outside and play. Y'all don't even know what that is. Like, what's go outside? It'd be hot outside. Be out there all day. And if you knew you were going to be outside all day, you put some Kool-Aid in a cup, freeze it. You be out there, your lips be all red like you can't handle. And then it drop, you be like, not me, I'll pick it up, kiss it up to God. 5-second rule. Whoa, 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 whoa. We had real games. We had hide and seek, duck, duck, goose, freeze tag, not it. Even the games we used to play to see who was going to be it was a game. Put your foot in the circle. Bubble gum, man, that's it. How many? Y'all think playing is being on that little game just... No, not till you've been outside for 12 hours. Ain't used the bathroom, ain't ate. Out there stinking, just smelling like all day. Walking out, Grandma, can I have some water? Yeah, but close my door. You letting all the good air out. Don't stand in the door here. I mean it. Got my electric bill all the way up. You ain't paying for nothing. Sick of it. Yo, I'm burning up here. These lights is like prison lights. I'm just rotisserie Negro. Just, who likes dark meat? Jesus Christ! Burn it up, Todd! Who's allowed to get to Jesus? Because I grew up in a church. I've been in churches where if you put a hat on, tried to walk through them doors, them ushers will stop you. Take that hat off. You don't wear no hat. This is the house of the Lord. This is the house of the Lord. But you don't realize he has a scar on his head because his stepfather beat him. And he keeps the hat on so that the kids wouldn't make fun of him, and you more worried about his hat than his heart. Now he turned around and walked away, and they'll never want to go to a church again. End up dead on the streets because the one time he felt like he could go to church, you turned him away for something on the outside. And that's what religion does. It judges you before God gets a chance to get to your heart. The problem with some places in contemporary Christianity is that we're not allowed to be really who we actually are. Too busy with Halloween church. Because you got to rock that mask and make everybody think you're something you really not. You can't even have a regular conversation. You just, everything out your mouth is a church word because you're scared to keep it real. How you doing? Blessed? I'm blessed. I'm blessed in the city, blessed in the field. I'm blessed. You don't even have a field. Shut up. I'm blessed. You catch me on the wrong day, I'm going to tell you what's really good. Hey, John, how you doing, man? I'm struggling. I'm tired, man. Wife been getting on my nerves. My kids don't sleep at night. Got a hold to some bad Mexican corn. Had me blowing up the bathroom. My foot swole. I'm mad at the world. I ain't got enough money to pay the bills. How you doing? Everybody say, keep it real. The problem with church is that we're not allowed to be who we actually are. And most of the tension in the life of young believers is the distance between who you are projecting and who you are actually. Wow. The tension in your life is the distance between your projected image and your actual self. And God says, this weekend, I want you to pull that mask off. and be who you really are, because I'm not ashamed of it. But God, I got some dirt on me. I've got some darkness. You ain't read Genesis? He created Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils, and man became a living being. God is not repelled by dirt. He's attracted to it. God will breathe into dirt. Darkness doesn't scare God. He'll speak to darkness and illuminate it. That's what this weekend is. But who's allowed to come to Jesus? Do you have to have it all together? I hope not. Because many of your friends won't feel comfortable to walk through these doors or the doors of your local church. But there is one man who everybody else had given up on. But because he had one worship left, everything in his life changed. Do you know that you're one worship away tonight from everything in your life changing? Count me as your big brother, your uncle that loves you, that gives you money every time you see me. Take these words right now and hear my heart, that you are literally one worship away from everything changing. So let me ask you a question, young person. How would you worship if you were 15 seconds away from all of your prayers being answered? Pastor David, I don't know if they understood what I asked. It was a prophetic question to see if they understood the moment they're in. God doesn't bring leaders like you together and a leader like this and an igniter like me, because God doesn't send me anywhere where failure is an option. I'm here to kick the devil in the mouth so that the city of Chicago and the surrounding regions and the city that you're from is never the same. Because apparently the enemy thinks Chicago belongs to him, but Chicago does not belong to him. Chicago belongs to God. It belongs to those who will worship in spirit and in truth. I need somebody to get crazy in here. Yes, 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 yes. I need somebody else. Get out of that seat where you are going crazy. Are there anybody else? Anybody else willing to go crazy? Crazy! Crazy! Break it down. Right here is the real test, because you don't have that band at your house. You better know how to praise if you don't hear a keyboard and a drummer. Will you still give God a crazy praise, a breakthrough praise, if they don't play it? No. Will you absolutely lose your... I need somebody over here that ain't scared.
Come on.
Pastor David, this praise is not just for me. This is from my daughter that the devil tried to kill 2 weeks ago. My 3-year-old daughter. You think I'm not going to praise God right here in front of y'all? When the enemy's trying to kill my family, take out my children, wreck my marriage. No! Devil, bow down! Yes! Out of worship! 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 Woo! Come here, Calvin. Can I have this generation? Look at this leader. All these books in you. All this wisdom in you. And the pain that was designed to kill you will now be bullets of freedom for the people who are assigned to your life. Your life is not a mistake. God didn't sentence you to pain. He trusted you with it. Did you hear what I said? God didn't sentence you to pain. He trusted you with it. Because he knew even through everything you went through, even with your questions, you'd still end up right